So the first thing that I'm gonna put on my eyelids is Painterly. It's by MAC. It's a paint pot. This is really is what I'm gonna use to prime my lids. Okay, this is gonna give a hold to the eyeshadow. It's gonna make it stick a lot better, and it's just gonna really bring out that pigment. So I'm just taking my finger and I'm gonna apply it all over my lid. Now I don't have any makeup on. The only thing I have on my face right now is lotion, and I put a deep hydrating lotion for my lower lids or my under. You can see I'm just gonna put it all over there, and it kind of just has like almost like the same color as my skin. You kind of want to match that, so you don't have to, but it just looks better. Okay, so after I primed my lids with the primer. I really love using this brush for my crease. This is called the 224 brush. And I have a lot of eyelid space right here, so if I were to use a smaller brush, it would take up more time, and that's just something I don't have in the morning when I'm getting dressed for work. So you can see that it's very fluffy. It has a lot of, it can hold a lot of shadow, but it'll distribute it evenly on your lid. And also it's really good for smoothing out any rough spots or just blending. This is mainly what this is for. I use it all the time pretty much. It's an everyday brush, so it's a really great investment. So I'm going to put it's a light brown in my crease just to give some depth. And right now I'm using my Tartelette palette. It's a really great palette. There's a lot of nice coloration in there. I'll be using Wanderer and Natural Beauty. I like to mix a lot of my colors up. Sometimes I feel like they don't look as dark as they should if I don't. So you see, I'm gonna start from the outer to the inner. I'm just gonna brush it in there like that. Okay. So I'm gonna look at my mirror over here because I can't look at it through the camera. Sorry about the lighting. I know it's not that great. And you just see, you can see already where I'm making the crease, and I'm just gonna spread it all over like that, just like in a back and forth motion. Okay. I didn't put any powder over this paint pot color, just because I wanted to hold the color that I'm putting on there, and sometimes if you put too much eyeshadow, it will cause like a caking effect or a look. I know this doesn't look that great right now, but trust me, it will when it's done. And just keep adding it in there like that. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. Still using the same colors from my Tartelette palette. And we're just going to blend it in. Sorry, this isn't edited. I can make it go a lot faster, but I just don't have that stuff together yet, and I know people have been asking me to make a tutorial, so I just wanted to do it rather quickly, and since I had some time. Okay, so you can see that the crease is defined. You see that right here. There's no shadow, and obviously right here where I used the brush there is. So it actually looks better. This camera is horrible. It's my phone camera, so sorry about that. The next step is I love this pencil. It's Wonder Pencil by NYX. You can do so much with this pencil. I mean, just so many things with your eyes. I really like to use it. I know I already used a primer on my lid, but I want to bring out my white pigment that I'm going to use to make it even brighter. So I'm going to apply this to my inner lid. This is actually like one of my signature looks that I wear to work a lot. It's really easy to do, especially if you don't have time, once you get it down. So it takes practice, of course, but once you got it down, you're good to go. So I'm not going to put it all the way to the end of my lid. I'm just going to put it to like right here, almost to the middle, a little bit further out. It just depends on your eye shape. I like to put it there because it makes my eyes look bigger, and it just really brings out my eye color. So that's why I do it that way. And just make sure I have a good even amount. And I do. Okay, so I'm going to leave that alone for a minute and let it dry. It's not wet, but sometimes even with pencils, they can tend to be a little wet, which is good whenever you want to put the powder, apply it right away, but I want to let it dry a little bit. So the next brush I'm going to use, I don't always use MAC brushes. I love off-brand brushes like Morphe. This is my Morphe brush. It's number M411. I use this for my crease, my corner a lot, right here in this area for the first application. Because if you can see, it has kind of like a pointed tip and it flares out, and it's almost like the 224. It's just a thinner version of it, so it really works well in there and it helps to blend and get the color in. Now, rule of thumb is I start out with a darker color for my outer lid, so I'm gonna use my Lorac Pro palettes. Okay, I love this palette. It's my Holy Grail palette. And I'm going to use the color Espresso, which is right here. Sorry about the dirty palette. I just used it a lot. So here we go. I'm just going to take this brush. It's so simple. You're just going to apply it right here in the crease. Right there. See how beautiful that color is? Such a great pigment. I love this because it's so versatile. You can use it for anything. This palette by Lorac. There are just so many things you can do with it, and you know, the colors blend so well, so softly. It's just like so smooth when you blend with the brush. It just works great together. And I'm going to do the other side too. Now, I know some people like to put their foundation on first and then do their eyeshadow. I don't like to do that because typically there's a lot of fallout, and then you have to go over and fix your foundation, fix your under eyelids, and I just like to wait and do that to the end also because it kind of gives it like its finishing touch. Okay, so you can see that I have this out here and right here. It's just not really any formation. It just kind of looks like, you know, blocked, right? Okay, so that's where this brush comes in. This is another MAC brush. It's the 217, and it is the ultimate blending brush. I love this brush. There is one that is similar to it by Morphe, and it's a cheaper brush. I think these are like $5. And it is the M433 by Morphe. I mean, look, they look pretty much the same, and they work the same. They work well. They're both really great brushes. I have both of them. I use them all the time. Sometimes I forget which one is which because they actually look alike. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lighter color. It's Sable. The key to blending is dark, light, dark, light. So you're going to take the darker color and you're going to blend in a lighter color to help smooth it out, so it's not so deep. You want it to look natural, kind of like it flows naturally. You want it to be gradient. So you don't want a big black mark like this. You know, you want it to smooth in nicely. So I'm going to take this Sable, blow a little bit off because I don't want any residual. And then I'm going to take this. I'm not going to move it all around crazy. I'm just going to take it and move it here like this, in this kind of a motion. And by doing this, I'm helping spread the color to the area that I want it to be spread to. Okay, so you don't want to move it all crazy around your eyelid, just in this location. And you can see how I'm like buffing it out. I'm moving it in a circular motion, and I'm moving it up. I'm not moving it down, I'm moving it up. Well, it is going down, but it's more like an upward motion. And you can see because there's the beginning of like a little flick right here, kind of, in the corners. So, hold on a second. Okay. And you can actually move this color a little bit more in towards this part because you want it to blend. You don't want it to look like you just stuck a big chunk of dark eyeshadow there. You want it to blend well, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're striving for. Okay? So it's blended. Now you can see the difference between this eye and this eye. Look how much better that's blended. It doesn't look that great. My camera is not that great, but you can totally see the difference between this eye and this eye. This is blending. This is not blending. So I'm just gonna keep it in. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I take a while on my eyelids because it's the first thing people usually look at when they're talking to you, or they should. So I really like to take my time. I'm super perfectionist when it comes to that. The next brush I'm gonna use, I'll work on this eye in a minute. The next brush I'm gonna use is for my inner lid. It's the 242 by MAC. I don't have a dupe of this brush just because I haven't bought it, but I know that Morphe brushes has it, and I really love this brush. And I love all the Morphe products, so I'm sure that they would have it. The color I'm going to use for my outer lid, I forgot what this color is called. Hold on one second. It's Gesso, and it is by MAC. It's a really nice white color. Sometimes I like to use creamier colors because I think it looks more natural, but if I'm going to do a glam color, this is what I would use. Sorry, those are my in-laws. I'm doing this at their house. There is a storm here in Houston, so I came to visit them. And she's making caldo, so anyway. Okay, so I'm going to apply this to my inner lid area, and I'm going to pat it on there, okay? I got a good amount. That's what this brush is for. You want to pat it on there. It's going to stick better. You don't do any kind of like rubbing motion. You're just going to pat it. You see how it's sticking on there perfectly? It's also due to the pencil, the Wonder Pencil that I used. Again, by NYX. Okay, and pat it on. And I like to get close to my lids because if I don't, where my lash line is, it looks weird and you can see the gap. Especially with this white color, you want to make sure you really fill in nicely. You don't want it to look like to look weird, like it's off. So, this eye is pretty much almost done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with my 224 and just like kind of blend this, all of this right here, into the inner part of my eye. I want a good, nice mix. I want it to look good. I don't want it to be blocky, you know. I want it to be gradient, okay? Now you can totally see the difference between this eye and this eye. This one is blended really well, and this one still looks like a block. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with Sable on this eye, and let me just have to use my mirror, sorry. And I'm blending it in. Okay. I'm going to keep blending it until it looks good. I love doing makeup. I feel like, I mean, I don't mind going outside without makeup. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, girls just wear makeup to hide or even because they're ashamed of the way they look. And that is not true at all. I love it. This is so relaxing for me. It brings out my artsy side. I'm able to bring colors together and make them look well. Colors you would never think would go good together. I make them look well. And also, I mean, you know, makeup does give you confidence. That shouldn't be the only thing that gives you confidence, but I mean, it does help boost it, and you know, it doesn't make you look pretty, so what can I say? So I'm going to go back in, oh, actually next, I'm going to use the 217 and apply the Gesso on my inner lid, which is the MAC. And again, we're just going to pat it on there. Okay. This is my routine every morning before I go to work. This is what I do. You know, some people are like, I don't know how you have time for it, but once you practice, it's really not that difficult, and it just, if I wasn't talking, I'd probably be done already with my eyes. Okay. Okay, so both eyes are pretty much done. You can see, I didn't use any kind of a liner because this is just something for everyday look. If I was gonna go out at night, I would probably put a liner here so my line would be more defined. But I like it a little rounded in during the weekday, just because it looks, you know, it's not as dressed up or glam as using a liner to kind of give it that edgy look, like, you know. So I usually don't put anything up top because I put that primer, that paint, the Painterly paint pot on, and that kind of gives it itself. But because I'm doing this tutorial today, I'm going to go ahead and use this. It's like a shimmery, everything, all the colors I have on are matte. None of these are shimmer. I like shimmer, but the older you get, sometimes it's just difficult to use. Some older women who have creases or lines in their eyes, it doesn't look that great on them. It actually brings out the wrinkles, making them look more defined. And that's not what we're trying to do when we put makeup on. This is Naked Lunch. I really like this color. It's really shimmery, and can't really see it. Anyways, it's really shimmery. It's by Makeup Geek. It's this lady. She's an online YouTube guru, makeup guru, and she has a really great line of makeup products. So I like them. They're not that expensive, but you know, that's just my opinion. Okay, so I'm gonna put this up here in my brow area, my brow bone. And again, I gotta use this mirror because I cannot see anything. I'm gonna use this phone. Okay, and it has such a nice color. It's really soft, so it's not super shimmery, and you can see it now. Do this eye. And whenever I'm doing the brow bone, what I do is I just kind of pat it on there. Sometimes I will drag the brush depending on the type of eyeshadow it is. And then I'm going to go back in with the 224 again because I want it to blend well. We don't want a lot of lines. We want to try to make it look as blended as possible. Okay, and you can even blend up when doing this. And by blending up, I mean moving the brush in upward stroke motion like that. Okay. Okay, my eyes are pretty much done now. So just give me a moment and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that my eyes are pretty much done, I'm just going to show you what I use for my for this under eye area. It's by La Mer, I don't know how to say it. Anyways, it's this cream, and it's so amazing. It really hydrates those lower lids, and if you have wrinkles or anything like that, before you apply any primer or any kind of foundation on your eye, you want to put this on, or something that's thick of this consistency. It's going to hydrate those and leave less lines behind. It's just how it is when we get older, so we need more hydration in our skin. I also tend to have oily skin, and I know this sounds odd, but I have to use more moisturizer to keep the oil back, because if I don't, my skin is like crying out for help, so it creates more oil. So I use a nice light moisturizer. It's actually by CeraVe, and you can find that at any HEB. My skin's not perfect right now. I have a lot of blemishes. To me, this is a lot. So after I put the moisturizer on, I like to use NARS. This is a NARS foundation. It's Sheer Glow, and this is color, I think it's Fiji. So what I'm going to do is, I like to use my hand as my art pad. So I'm just going to take a few pumps. Oh, really quickly, I do like to use this primer. I'm just not going to put it on right now. But if I were to use it, it's this Hourglass primer. I do use it all the time. But I'm not going to put it on now just because I'm being lazy and I forgot this stuff. But you just need like one squirt, and I just put it here, like in these areas, especially where I'm going to put my blush, so that it'll stay and hold. Sometimes when you put blush on, you can get little patchy areas depending on the brush. So this really helps prevent that. So now I'm going to go ahead and put on my foundation. I'm just going to kind of put it on there like whatever. I look like a crazy lady. I'm just gonna rub it in. Now, because I have those blemishes, I'm gonna go over that with some patchwork. Try to get it really. You want to make sure when you put your foundation in, you get it over here in this nasal area. This is where a lot of women tend to have redness or some discoloration. So make sure you get in there, because if you don't, it looks weird. It's like your whole face is like primed with all this great color, and then it's like bam, redness. Okay. So I'm just gonna apply that all over my face. This also is kind of, it's kind of like almost an oily. It's not oil based, but it feels a little oily on my skin. So I didn't like that at first, but it's hydrating it. So, and it also has SPF 20, I believe. Don't quote me on that though. It's really important. You want to take care of your skin. Make sure you don't get any sun damage, because the older you get, the more pronounced those age spots will be. So take good care of your skin. Don't go to sleep with your makeup on. Wash it, tone it, moisturize it. Okay. I also like using this blending brush. I prefer to use my hands. I know some people don't, but I do, just because it doesn't waste any product. These little brushes, they're great for blending, but they tend to waste a lot of product. So I wouldn't recommend it if you're on a budget, and especially when you buy really expensive foundations, like my NARS one. It's like $50, and it does last a while, but still, that's 50 bucks, you know? It's like a new pair of shoes. All right, so I'm done with that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply, excuse me. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply my my concealer. Now I bought a lighter concealer than my normal skin color, and there's a reason for that. I'm pretty sure you've heard of the triangle of light. If not, basically what it is using a lighter concealer, and you're gonna put it in a triangle pattern under your under eyelids. The reason why we do this is because we want people to be drawn to our eyes, and that really helps highlight that area. And especially since you did all this eye makeup work, you really want people to notice that region. And so when they're talking to you, you know, they can see it. And also makes you look a whole lot brighter and just more awake and happier. Anyways, that's what I think. So I'm not going to take a lot. I notice that the more you put on, the more you pack on, it tends to get cakey. I don't like cakey makeup looks. Sorry, I have like a piece of dry skin here. It's, you know, my skin. Sorry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this in little dots right here. And because I'm getting older, I have to do that weird mouth thing, because I don't have great under eyelids, lower lids, like I used to. Okay, so now I'm just gonna draw this down like this. You see? This is like the easy way to do this. This is what I do in the morning. I mean, there's like so many ways you can do it. You can, you know, for contouring, but I don't have time for that. I don't have time to get out my brushes in the morning. I mean, this is like the lazy contour, but it works. It really does. So now that I'm gonna take my beauty blender, not booty blender, but the beauty blender, and I'm just gonna go over this area. If you're not careful, you can actually take off what you just put on with this thing. So I'm just gonna go over it gently and just make sure I get it under my eye. I'm just blend that in there. Okay. It's not a big difference. I know some people use like a lot, but this, I didn't buy like a super white color for my as my concealer. I just bought a little bit of a color difference. I do have other concealers that are brighter and whiter, and you know, you can really see the brightness there. But the only problem with that is that if you notice, sometimes your friends who are into makeup, they have like a white pigmentation underneath their skin or underneath their lids on their skin, and it looks like baby powder. That's usually because it's too white. The flash is kind of reflecting off of it, so it makes it look weird. Now let me show you the two different setting powders that I have. These setting powders are only for this section. I'm going to use another setting powder or foundation for the T-zone, this area right here. So I love Ben Nye Luxury Powder. This stuff is amazing. This is banana powder. This is not going to give you that yellow or white cast. It's going to look natural if you have olive, medium toned skin. They have darker colors for darker skin tones. This works really, really well. I love this stuff. If I'm going to highlight and I want a wider highlight, this was what came with my Laura Mercier, however you say it, high coverage concealer. It didn't come together, but I bought them together. And you can see that the powder is really white. So, and it also has like a little bit of shimmer in it. But sometimes I mix them together. You can do that too. It kind of gives it like a highlight also. So, I don't know, I just get creative. I try different stuff. You know, there's no rule when it comes to makeup. It's just, if it looks good, wear it. So I'm using this brush. It's by Real Techniques. I don't know. Oh, it's a setting brush. Okay, well, duh, that's why I use it, right? Hello. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my like this, set it on there, and I'm just gonna tap it in there, okay? Just to this lower area, because I want to set it. The reason why we set it is because we don't want this to move, because it will move, and then it looks gross. It looks tacky. Okay, so here I am setting it in. And you don't need a lot. I just kind of tap it in there like that. And I don't think this stuff was that expensive, this setting powder by Ben Nye, but you know what? It's really hard to find. You have to go to like, you have to go online or to private makeup stores. Now you can see, hopefully, maybe it's just the lighting, but you can kind of see the difference between where I put the setting powder and right here where my cheek is, where I don't have any powder whatsoever. And now just to show you, I'm gonna go ahead and put that white powder on so you can kind of see what it looks like over it, and you can get a better idea. It's not gonna hurt anything, but you can see the whiteness, see the difference? You can actually see that white cast on there. So it's gonna make it even. It doesn't look bad, but in pictures it doesn't look that great either. And it does look good on some people, just not everybody. And you just kind of have to try, figure out, and buy it. Oh my god, okay, so this Kabuki brush, I've had it for like ever. I probably need to buy a new one, but I've been really cheap, and I clean and disinfect these all the time. But I think I got this from, not Bare Minerals, but Bella Terra like 6 years ago. But it's a really good brush, it works really well. So I love this Tarte Amazonian Clay Foundation. This is in light to medium beige, okay? I got this at Ulta. So I really like it because it helps control the oils, and also I feel like it doesn't make my face break out. So I'm just gonna apply this powder here. Okay, on my nose area, up here in my forehead area. Make sure to get this over here. Okay, so there we go. Okay, got powder everywhere on my face. So I'm going to show you how to cheek contour. Basically, I know people sometimes spend hours contouring. Like I said, I don't have time for that in the morning. So I forgot my matte contouring powder. So I'm going to have to use this bronzer blush duo that I got from Lorac, which I really love. The blush is really pretty, and so is the bronzer. Okay, you have two options well, you have more than two options, but these are my two options because these are the only brushes that I have. I use sometimes this Expert Face brush for my upper area, or I'll use this like slanted brush by Bare Minerals for my inner cheek area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the bronzer, because that's what you want, into my cheek area right here. You can kind of see where my earlobe hits this area and goes to where my mouth line is. Okay, so I'm gonna make some really weird faces, so please don't get scared. Continue watching the video. I'm okay. Okay, so and then I'm gonna apply it up here to my forehead area, and just like a circular motion. Sweeping across, and actually put a little right here. Okay, so if you can see, I went ahead and I put it in my cheekbone area. I applied a little bit down here at the bottom and above my forehead. I also like to apply it to my nose area. Let me see where my brush is. Let me know if I brought it. I may not have brought it with me, but we can improvise. I'm really good at that. I typically would not use this shimmering on my nose just because it's shimmery, like it's gonna make it look shimmery, so I don't really like that. But just for this purpose right now, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on. So I'm gonna start right here where my brow is and go down, straight line. can see that line. And go down. I know I look ridiculous, right? Like, okay. So you can see how defined that is. I mean, you can tell that I have stuff there. Like, you wouldn't go outside the house like that, you know? It's weird. So, what I'm gonna do is, after I've done that, I'm gonna take my brush and kind of just smooth it out. This is my Kabuki brush I use for my foundation. Okay, you can see that. It's kind of blend. You want to blend, you know, make sure you blend well. And then on my nose part, I'm just gonna. Some people like to have that line there to look real pronounced. I am not one of those. I don't really like that on me. So I think it looks, I feel weird. And then I'm gonna go back in with this powder. Which is that illuminating powder. So you can see that I left a little bit of that line there, but it's not a lot. And you can barely see it. It's mainly just to kind of give my bridge a smaller look. Okay, so I bought a couple new MAC blushes that I really, really love. And I love mixing my blushes together and making my own pigments. They look so great, and it makes me feel even more artsy when I do that. So let me just blend this in real quick, 'cause it's gonna annoy me. Okay. So for my blush brush, I'm using my MAC 187. And I really love this brush. It has a lot of grip and hold, and it's really easy to kind of blend in. Let's see which Prism. There's Melba. Okay, so my two favorite blushes to use right now. Sometimes I even use more than two. Just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Am I crazy? Super crazy. So I'm gonna use Melba by MAC. This is such a beautiful blush. It's so pretty. It just looks good. I think it would look good on anybody. And this other blush is Prism, and it's almost like the bronzer we use, but there's no it's not sparkly. There's no glitter or shimmer in it. It's really pretty. So I'm just gonna take these two and just kind of go over like that into each one of them. And then I'm gonna add my blush.